Okay, so we are recording Chapter 2 Fitness Website. We've already went ahead and completed the page. So I'm just going to point and show you some shortcuts. I do want to remind you that we have a Slack channel. And on the Slack channel, I went ahead and there's some of the things we've done already. So I'm going to close this one out. We'll use the validation, the validator, and then here is the Slack channel over here. Maybe not. Okay, I'll just bring you to the Slack channel. It's over on Blackboard. You want to go ahead and join. It's called PTC Web Dev. You can also download an app for your mobile phone. I created a channel for every category that we have when it comes to our coursework. There's a channel for fitness website because there's a lot, and there's a lot to cover. So I didn't want that to get mixed up with all the rest of the general HTML, CSS stuff. We talk about a lot of different things, so definitely go ahead and join. And it's kind of like Blackboard announcements and emails, everything in one central hub. Also, a lot of professional developers use this at work, so it's something that you want to get familiar with. For the fitness website, I went ahead and already uploaded a Chapter 2 lecture, along with some other extra resources that you'll use in Chapter 2. Thankfully, we don't have to download any data files, but if you are completing the end of the chapter assignments, you would download the data files here. This video is going to be replaced with the new video that we have going on now. And we already went ahead and did the coding, but I want to go ahead and show you some stuff. So if you hit Control-N, it'll create a new file. To have all of this already done for you, what you can do is just make sure that you change your plain text to HTML. And then type HTML tab. And this is using Sublime Text 3. Now, because the validator really wants you to add the language, you're going to want to make sure you do this. And also put this in there. Because when you use that shortcut key, the HTML tab, it does not include that on there. So you want to definitely make sure you do that. When we were doing the menu items, what we noticed went by quicker for us. This stands for non-breaking space. What I noticed is when we do the nav, actually, if you want, you can do nav tab. But right here, when we do the nav and we had the home, so let me paste that from the other code. I was showing them that you can do Control-Shift-D to duplicate your line. So Control-Shift-D will duplicate them, and then you can just change the menu items. So the second one on the list was About Us. And that's how you would change it. Makes it a lot quicker. Another thing we talked about was when you add the title, this is what's going to appear on your window tab. So this is what's going to appear. Control-S to save it. I'm going to go ahead and just save this since it's just an example for the, I'm going to put fitness example. You're not going to be saving it this way. You're going to be saving it as just fitness. But I don't want to confuse my files. And when I open in the browser, this is what I'm referring to. If it shows it. It's what's going to show up here. Okay, so that's that. Then the other thing we talked about was toggling between comments. So let's say, for example, the book tells you to put a comment up here. This is a comment. And let's say you want to toggle and you want to make this appear on the browser. You would go to Edit, Comment, and Toggle. Notice the shortcut key is Control/. So if we hit Control/, it'll help you toggle between comments. It's good whenever you don't want to delete the code and you actually want to save it without deleting it, and you can just toggle, make something a comment. I can make this whole nav into a comment. So it won't show it on the browser, but it'll keep it in your code. It also allows other developers to see where you left off and helps you organize it. Okay, so this is what it should look like for your Forward Fitness template. The first one you work on page, I believe it starts in page 56 or 57. Yeah, it starts on page 55. I do want to show you how you should have your folders organized. So for example, when I go to save, what you should have done is you should have gone and saved this on your flash drive. I saved it on my desktop, but you should have a flash drive and you should be saving everything to that. And then eventually you're going to publish this fitness folder. I believe it's after chapter 4 to show me what you've done, because I definitely want to make sure you're going through the chapter. So the root folder is going to be called fitness. Inside that fitness folder, you've created new subfolders. So whenever you create something new, folder, and you're creating subfolders. So we created the CSS subfolder, which is what our style sheet is going to go into. An images folder, all your images are going to go in there. Media for your videos and your audio. Oops. And your template. Now that template folder is going to have something in it. It's your fitness file that you've been working on. So all of this is going to go inside that template, because this is what you're going to keep using over and over again. Actually, now that I'm looking at it, we may have skipped the part. Let me make sure. Okay, so when we validated the template, what we forgot to do is we forgot to create a home page. So let's do that now. So the home page is going to actually be called index. So we messed this up a little. So let me go ahead and change that now. So this is the template. And what we forgot to do is all of these paragraphs actually belong on the index page. So I'm going to cut all of these from here. I'm going to exit out of this one. I'm going to create a new, so Control N or File, New. And what you're going to do is you're going to save this as index.html. And this is going to go inside your fitness folder. So save as. And we don't want it inside the template folder. We want it inside the fitness folder. It's going to go outside of all the folders. And it's going to be called index.html. Okay, so these are the paragraphs that are going to go in there. I forgot I need to actually copy the rest of the template over. This is why this is called a template, because we're going to be using it over and over again. So I'm going to paste this, and I'm just going to put the paragraphs where they belong. So all of these paragraphs actually go inside the main tag. This is what's helping you create that home page for your fitness website. So I'm just going to drag it over to the main, because that's where it belongs. Inside the main. Let me go ahead and make sure it looks good. Okay, so now we have an index file, a home page. So when we open it, it should look like it should look like this one. My windows keep opening up on different screens. So I know that this one's my index. So what's the difference between index and the template? This was the example. So let me open up my template. My template shouldn't have any content. It should only have the bare bones. Oh, I didn't save it. So let me save that. Now that I've deleted the paragraphs out of there. Save that. Okay, so the difference between the index and the fitness is the template, so just the bare bones of what we're going to be needing. And then the index has the content. Welcome. This will be the landing page. So this is what the difference is. And then remember to keep all your files organized. So let's make sure that everything looks good. I'm always going to to check my folders. So I look at my root folder. I have all my subfolders. I have my index outside of the subfolders. And I have my fitness.html inside the template folder. The next thing that the book talked about was the validator. Oh, also another thing to point out. This is a symbol entity. And that just makes it so that it appears like the symbol. So when you go to, for example, the browser, you can see that this is the symbol that you created. Okay, the validator. So when you go to page, I believe it was, you're going to validate your template. You can also validate your index. This is just to make sure that you've coded things correctly. So on page 67, it tells you to go to validator. Remember, there's different validators for HTML and CSS. This one's for HTML. So it tells you check the markup, HTML. We didn't publish it to FileZilla yet. We didn't publish it to the internet. So this is a local file. We're going to choose the file. And then it'll tell you if you did it right. So no errors. So we're good there. And that's it. Just make sure that everything looks good, looks like that. Make sure you have your semantic elements. In the comment, you're explaining what the semantic elements mean. And then let me make sure one more thing. Shortcuts. Just so that you know, the way we typed out the nav, the header, the main, those are all semantic elements. So for example, what you can do is when you type up header, just hit tab and it'll give you the opening and closing tag. Same thing for main. If you just type up main, tab, and it'll give you the opening and closing tag. So just a few pointers there. So everything else should look like this. And when you go to your browser, you can also right click and view the page source. And everything we see on the Sublime text editor, we now see on the browser. And of course the colors change, like comments turn green instead of gray when you look at it through the browser. And then if you ever lose files, hopefully you don't, but if you ever do and you've published it to the internet already, then you can just copy this and then paste it onto your Sublime text editor. And then it'll turn into this. All right, good luck. This was for chapter 2, and then the next video will be on chapter 3. Let's make sure I can stop this. And again, please make sure to join the Slack channel.